contemplating all of my goals. Look, will I fold or will I chase them? I got adversity, two options. I can handle it purposefully or I can let it murder me. But sign up for war, point out the target, show me the giants. Hold your applause, just getting started, sending the lions. Ambition ain't for the weak, I see it before I speak. Ready and willing, is you ready?
What's up, you guys? We're gonna take you along for a little gear workout today. I'm gonna throw this out there. I know this is a controversial topic because of the exposure to contaminants in the gear and things like PFAS. But what we need to understand is we need to know our limitations and the physiological implication of training in gear. The heat stress, the weight, the claustrophobic nature, it's something that we have to expose ourselves to in a controlled setting. So when it does happen on the fire ground, we're not in for a rude awakening, because we've all had that feeling where you feel like you can't get your breath. And when that happens, then panic starts to happen. And when panic starts to happen, we're not thinking logically. And ultimately, these could be life or death situations. So I think this is something that we have to do monthly, if not quarterly, just so we know the limitations and the, things that happen with our bodies when we do train in gear, because you don't want to find these things out on the fire ground. So ultimately, how can we get the most benefit for the minimal effective dose of wearing our stuff? That's kind of my rationale. If you think I'm a dummy for training in my gear, to each their own. And this is ultimately a decision I made because I want to know that I am physically and mentally prepared for whatever comes. And ultimately, it's this upfront investment that I believe is going to allow me to do that. So if this is something that you're dead against, feel free and skip the video. But if it's something that you agree in, tell me why. Tell me how often you guys train in gear in the comment section below. But I think what I'm doing right now is I'm talking because I'm delaying the inevitable, because I know how much this is gonna suck. It doesn't matter how good a shape I feel I'm in. Every time I do a gear workout, I'm absolutely humbled. So we're gonna go ahead and crank on the bottle and we're gonna get after it. Let's freaking do it. Before we get into this, I should probably let you know what we're doing. So in order to make sure that we're hitting full body and jacking that heart rate up, we're gonna start with 5 tire deadlifts. So we're gonna get into that tire, we're gonna head down, we're gonna deadlift, stand up and back down. We're gonna do that for 5. A little bit kinder to the back, especially in these limited range of motion with your bunker gear. Sometimes it's hard to get all the way down, so that allows us to still kind of work that posterior chain without having to get as low. We're gonna follow that with alternating step up on the tire as well. We're gonna do 5 per side for 10 total. We're gonna do 10 ball slams, and then we're gonna do roughly 10-ish seconds, counting in my head, of battle rope. So I might alternating to like an alternating wave, a double wave. We'll just keep things exciting. And then we're just gonna basically bang that out until I bleed this puppy dry. So we're gonna see how long we can let this, or we can see how long we can stretch this 45-minute bottle. Usually it takes me around 24, 26, 28 minutes if I'm lucky, if I can really kind of control that breathing. But we'll see what we're able to do today. So without further ado, it's time to nut up or shut up, and let's do it. One of the things we have to realize is a lot of the times the reason we get that very breathless feeling, that panicky feeling with our mask on,
is not because we're not getting enough oxygen in, it's because we're not getting enough CO2 out. CO2, carbon dioxide, is the indicator to our brain that we need to breathe. It's actually not oxygen. We don't work on hypoxic drive, we work on chemotaxic drive. So that's why it's so important not only to build the fitness, but also to ensure that we have the metabolic fitness to get rid of all that CO2 so you don't get that panicky feeling, that breathlessy feeling, because that can cause panic, and panic can cause a whole bunch of issues. It's one thing to be breathing heavy, it's another thing to be able to brace and be strong while out of breath. And that's why a functional approach to fitness training, both strength and endurance, is so important, because if you have one without the other, you're really going to struggle. I don't know how much that baby weighs, but it's not light. The cardiovascular output is one thing. One of the main reasons why this is so imperative and so essential, the heat stress is the real killer. Being fully encapsulated, heat's going to cause a bunch of issues. Loss of water, dehydration, increased blood pressure, skyrocket that heart rate. So that's why there's another reason why I think it's so important to train in gear. So now that you're absolutely gassed, now we gotta get out. One thing I think every person needs to experience is sucking that mask to your face. Understanding what it feels like to get those last few breaths in when your Viber alert goes off and you know you got 10-15 seconds to find your way out. Hear that slowing? Couple breaths. Get out, get out, get out. Woo! Oh.
You've never wanted to get out of your gear so bad in your life, but ultimately, feeling that feeling in this controlled setting, that's what matters. Oh man. So we stretched that bottle to 28 minutes and 37 seconds, which for a 45-minute bottle with no rest, that's pretty good. Average heart rate, 151, which for me, yes, I know, which for me is pretty darn high. So it's one thing to have fitness, it's another thing to have fitness and capacity with 75 pounds of gear on, with things weighing down your shoulders that's preventing your lungs from being able to expand fully with that heat stress and everything. So that's why I make it a priority. I don't like surprises. As they say, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Woo! Sticky. Sticky. Come here, you bastard. Holy frig. Get out. Everyone talks about the gym pump. No one talks about the gear pump. And that is an indication of, because you're so gosh darn hot, all your blood vessels are trying to vasodilate to get that blood to closest to the surface. This is the kind of cognitive impairment that you have when you're really hot. All your blood vessels are trying to vasodilate, which means get bigger so they can get more of that blood to the surface so it can cool off. So again, indication, I wish I had a tympanic thermometer. We could check out what the temp is right now, because I guarantee it's not 37 or whatever it is for you Americans. I'm a Canadian boy, so Celsius it is. Whew.